the banning of Maccabi Tel Aviv would send a strong signal to a nation that's responsible for a genocide.
Is that the real reason they want to ban Tel Aviv supporters Maccabi from coming to Aston Villa, or is this the real reason?
Remember, Rahma is in its place. It's in its place. When the Tel Aviv fans come to Birmingham in a few weeks, we will not show them Rahma in Birmingham.
Hello Envy UK, it's Pete here. Welcome back to the channel, and a very, very difficult video to record this one because I've got, well, let's put it into context. So just a couple of days ago, the West Midlands Police came out and announced that Maccabi fans from Tel Aviv cannot come and support their team away at Aston Villa because of fears of not being able to protect them in the city. Now, firstly, what is that about? Because the WMP, the West Midlands Police, have been dealing with Wolverhampton and Birmingham, or Villa and Birmingham, or West Bromwich Albion and Wolverhampton. They've been dealing with really, really vicious derbies since football began. It is not out of place, which says to me there's something amiss here. There's something more sinister to it. And I think we all know. I think the Islamists have taken control of Birmingham. They're in the council, they're in the police, they're in everywhere. So, which is fine, because if you come, you integrate, you work amongst the community, happy days. But what we have to draw a line at is the so-called ability to stop people coming that you don't like. It's not about that. You might not like it, but the Aston Villa fans want to see the away supporters because that's what brings the vibe, the magic, the atmosphere, the adrenaline, the excitement of a football match. If you've ever been to the football, you 100% know what it's like to score a goal when you're away. It is buzzing. And but there's more ahoy here, like you saw Ayab open the show with, saying that he blames a country for genocide, so they don't want their football team here. Well, more like the Islamists and the Brotherhood, let's call them, have told him not on our watch, and everyone has to pander to that. Now, this is really difficult for me because I've worked in and around Birmingham for 20 years, and I have some very, very good friends from all faiths across the city. And, you know, it's just not all of them. It's not in a month of Sundays. There's some good folk out there, and I'm going to stand by that. You know, I absolutely am. But there's a group of radicals who will absolutely cause mayhem. And unfortunately, because of how the community works, if an elder says you're all out to do this, everyone has to go out and do it. And there's people there that are really, really worried about this forthcoming football game on the 6th of November. I think that by banning the away football teams, what you've done is you've actually emboldened a lot of conflict to potentially happen. Because when you tell someone not to do something, they are going to go and do it. I wouldn't be surprised if half of the world's worth of Maccabi supporters turned up to be at the ground if they couldn't even get into the ground, because football is almost like a religion to some people. They will go to that before a funeral. Honestly, I've seen it. Those season ticket holders. Right, so let's get into it. Now, what I want to do is I want to talk to you about what the left-wing media are saying, what the question is, and what the reply is from the MP, and then I'll discuss it, and then we'll do another question, and so some video clips to follow. Let's start with the first one. Roll the clip.
Look, can we call on other forces to provide more support, more facility, more capacity? If that is provided by, let's say, just for argument's sake, West Yorkshire Police or Cumbria Police, for example, would you support the game going ahead if that security can be provided?
No, I wouldn't. And I've given you my moral position, where we have had more than 800 athletes massacred in Gaza, more than 350 footballers. Mr. Salami, a 41-year-old professional footballer, killed whilst he was waiting for food. I think there's a moral argument, and that's why I obviously take in consideration the advice of the experts here, but I've got that moral stance where I feel that they shouldn't be allowed to play in international competitions.
Okay, so it's politics over football, over sports. They're using politics to ban Jewish people through their utter hate of the Jews of Israel and the Jewish community. This isn't about football. This is about scoring points. This is about hatred. And unfortunately, I disagree with him. I think that it's a sport. These athletes aren't involved in the genocide, as you put it. I don't believe it is a genocide personally, because, well, it's not what this video is about, so let's not go down that rabbit hole. But if you have any comments of what you've seen so far, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think, what your views on this are. The fact that the presenter said, what about if we draft in other police forces? You know, we know it's going to be a bit tasty down there. What do you think? And he's like, absolutely not. No way. They're doing genocide. So he's not thinking about what the wider community wants, what the country wants. They want a football match. He's just thinking about what his specific community, which never integrates, thinks. And that's what he's done. He's influenced everyone to get that outcome. Now, this is very serious, because if they win on this, they are going to take more rope, and you will start to see things fall down. The things that we're used to in a major way, very quickly it will go south. So this is a pivotal moment right now. Pivotal. So let's have another listen to his next question, because I think this is quite valid as well. He then goes on to ask, what about Euro 28? If you don't like a particular football team, are you going to ban them? If they sell arms to Israel, like Germany, are you going to ban them? So check it out.
For anybody looking to the future, Birmingham expected to host matches at Euro 28 when the UK holds the tournament. Will this decision impact the processes that take place to hold those matches? Because if we can't convince teams that they can be safe now, can we do that in 2028 in Birmingham?
This is, as I say, it's an operational matter. The advisory committee deals with case-by-case scenarios. If they have deemed this match as high risk, one which they will find extremely challenging to police, that's a decision they've made. I suspect it's unlikely with other teams. They've just seen the violence of Maccabi Tel Aviv fans in Amsterdam, and I think that goes to a long part of their decision-making process.
So he doesn't answer the question. He doesn't say definitively, no, it's just Tel Aviv. So what he's basically leaving the door open to is this to happen again. They want to take control. They hate the West. They want to turn the West into where they come from, but have the West pay for their existence. It's utter mockery. A mockery. Why? And that is why the next general election is so critical, because it's not going to be the usual uniparty. It's going to be like a bit of a Brexit. It's going to be, do you want Western values, or do you want to go down this utter medieval, barbaric, misogynist, ruthless route? I know what I want to do. I quite like the way I live right now. I quite like the morals that we've put into our children. I don't like the thought of inter-family marriage. I think that's wrong. But he mentions there about the violence that the Maccabi supporters had in Amsterdam. What news was he watching? Because what happened was a full-on pogrom, a full-on, as it was described in one of the WhatsApp groups from the phones retrieved from perpetrators, a Jew hunt. So a lot of the taxi drivers, the Muslim taxi drivers, were running around in their cabs, relaying a message to a group of people. And I'm going to show you a clip in a minute to show you what was happening. And they would attack Jews. They went looking for Jews. No Jew was safe that night. And this guy is trying to spin it and say that the Jews were violent. Here's a couple of incidences for you just to make up your own mind, and then we'll come back to it.
Fils de pute. Charmota. Benzona.
Okay, I can't watch any more of that. Take that off. That's hard to watch. But that's exactly what was happening last year in Amsterdam. It was a Jew hunt. This guy is dangerous. This guy is trying to spin it on mainstream media. Excuse me. Now, my issue is that this guy just let him speak and announce those falsities. He didn't challenge him again. He didn't drill into it and say, hold on a second. There were groups of men walking around demanding to see people's passports, and if they were Jewish, they got the good news. Thrown in the canal after beating, thrown in the canals, run over by taxi drivers. It was an absolute purge. It was a pogrom, they call it, but it was a purge. It was just nuts. So what's the Prime Minister got to say about it? Well, I haven't got the clip about what he said about it, but I can tell you he said that the football match should be allowed to be played and we should be able to police our own cities. What kind of police force are we running up there if we can't keep order? Exactly. So I'll be interested to see over the next couple of days if this ban gets lifted. And if it doesn't get lifted, well, I think that the 6th of November in Birmingham, around the Aston Villa Football Club, or around the city centre actually, might become an area to avoid, because I think that it will be very dangerous. I think a lot of people will go up there to prove a point and stand some ground, because why are we banning football matches in our own country? Because the community doesn't like the opposition. I mean, seriously, what will they do next? Who will they go for next? Will they ban a football, a rugby match, a cricket match? Will they ban that because they don't like whatever? Where does it stop? Leave me a comment and let me know what you think about where this is going to go and what you think of the outcome from this week's politics and the Prime Minister. That'd be good to know. So on that note, I'll leave you to it and I wish you a good week ahead. That's Pete from MV UK.